Hello and welcome to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Jeremy Sampson, who is the Managing Director of the Time to Train Asperger's program. He also was diagnosed with Asperger's at a young age and he's here to tell his story. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Mirella.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with Asperger's and how you were diagnosed at a young age and how you overcame different things through it?
Well, absolutely, autism was it was the buzzword, particularly in the early 90s. ADHD was very common. So I was diagnosed early 90s when ratio of autism was about 1 in 2,500. So it started from just my mother noticing that my behaviours were a little odd, and I was banging my head on the floor and rocking and rolling and just doing all kinds of strange, unusual things with my hands, right through to just not being able to string a sentence along very well, getting all the words out of place. So there was a lot of difficulty. So it was straight off to get the psychologist on board and immediately diagnosed with what we thought first was ADHD, but the psychologist said, no, I think it's Asperger's it's seeming more like. Mm-hmm. So change of diet, number one. Get the diet all under control first. So
and what did you do in that area?
Just had the gluten-free, wheat-free, dairy-free, sugar-free diet. Mum was absolutely hell-bent on getting rid of all those artificial colourings and sugars and things.
And meat-free as well?
Not so much, I don't think, meat-free, but it was really just, right, we'll change that food routine. Yep. And then I was placed on just a very basic movement exercise program from the US, which just doing, real basic floor exercises that really was about just rocking and rolling the brain. So sadly that program didn't carry on as they lacked funding and support, as a lot of the programs today are still going through that. But the routine of that, the diet, and of course repeating that and being really consistent and sticking to that really paid off. And went to school one day and teacher said to my mum, Jeremy is a different boy, Jan. Whatever it is that's going on, keep that going, because he is just so much more settled and he's a completely transformed boy. So we Mum knew she was on a winner. Yeah. And we stuck to that.
Just shows how important diet and exercise is, doesn't it?
Absolutely, looking after the health and the fitness side. So what we put in and then what we're doing physically wise and getting out is absolutely, I feel, number one, definitely.
Absolutely, beautiful. And then, did you have bullying at school, and what was all that about?
Absolute lots of bullying, and some of those years were absolute nightmares, Mirella. But bullying I took as a great motivation for trying to certainly improve myself, which we all need to do, is to self-improve. Mm-hmm. So when a bully picked on me and teased me for the way I walked or the way I looked or the way I applied myself in a situation, sport particularly was a great one, we won't pick him because he can't catch or he can't run.
Isn't that ironic? And now you're a fitness trainer.
And now I'm a fitness trainer, and that's right. But it was taking those comments and thinking, I'm very upset and I'm hurt, and I could absolutely just throw my whole life away. I don't want to be here because I can't cope. I could have gone that way, but I chose, no, you know what? I'll prove them wrong. I'll stay true to improving, and I'll do it away from the scene. So things like running around a school oval or throwing a ball against the wall and practicing my catching or kicking or whatever it was, anything movement wise. And of course I was doing that routine at home as well, proving the gymnastics and the balancing. I all of a sudden started noticing a different attitude from those bullies. I started getting picked for little athletics or getting picked for a tennis team, which these sorts of things is a great feeling, but the hard work has to be put in if you want to reach that next level. Yeah. So I started tennis from that early age of 6 and was improving the forehand, the backhand, and
So you kept motivating yourself the whole time.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and knowing that this is all to help improve me and my physical abilities, and through that gaining a lot of confidence. I think confidence is the first big C, and then using and channeling that into everything else. So I started feeling a lot more confident about standing up for myself towards bullies, or making friends. Certainly trying to motivate myself into holding a conversation or a chit chat with others. So, but sport and exercise always, number one.
Always number one. And then you ended up going into the career of fitness training. How did
That's
that all
right.
come about?
That came about through a tragic loss at the age of 10 back in 1997. I lost my father, and it was a sudden heart attack. And typically autistics are known for, they're not really, they can't really adapt well to sudden change or a difference. That was a reality wake-up call that, once you're not here any longer and that's it, there is no coming back. And health, again, is something we all need to really look after. So that really motivated me to not only continue with the exercises and the sports and improving myself towards better communication and better ability and confidence standing up to bullies, but just to look after my own health, because I don't want to die at a young or early age in life. And
this is the only home you've got to live in.
This is
Really?
the castle that I've got, and I've got to keep it all together and look after it. So, from those teen years, it was all about certainly looking after myself with what I eat, and staying as active as possible, and taking finally a career in helping others to achieve the same thing.
That's wonderful. About to go to a break now. You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Jeremy Sampson, who is the Managing Director of the Time to Train Asperger's program. He was also diagnosed with Asperger's himself, and now he is a personal trainer and a physical therapist. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Mirella.
So can you tell us a little bit about you? You were working in fitness first at one point. What happened there? How did that all come about?
Yeah, I took the role of a membership consultant. I thought this would be a great little challenge. I've had a bit of experience in sales and talking to people, which I got a lot of confidence from, and working with people. And again, in that industry, health and fitness is so important. So I enjoyed certainly encouraging people to walk through the gym and check it out, and then certainly to sit down and sign up. So I was working there in 2009 for Fitness First, and I had the family walk through the gym. Lovely husband and wife, and they wanted to get their 12-year-old son into the gym, and I said, well, unfortunately 12 is a little bit young, but when he's a little bit older, absolutely. And they said, yeah, because we just want him to move a bit more. He's playing a lot of computer games and putting on a bit of weight, and we're a bit worried, and he has a diagnosis of Asperger's. I said, oh, right, okay, well, I've got Asperger's. And they said, what? There's no way. You couldn't possibly have Asperger's, Jeremy. You're doing 3 things at once. You're talking to us, you're filling out contracts, you're on the phone talking. There is no way you could have it. I said, no, I do. They said, well, can you help? I said, well, I'm a qualified personal trainer. And they said, great, sign us up. How many days do you think? We'll follow whatever, charge us whatever. We don't care. We'll follow your lead. I thought, bingo. And the light bulb just went bang above my head. I literally thought I had shards of glass from the idea. I thought, brilliant. I have to work with Asperger's because I have it. So there it is, right there in front of me. It was always there, long behold. Just work with people that also have the same condition as myself. And I'll get them on that path and help them to achieve the same thing as myself. So I worked with this family, and doing 3 or 4 times a week, putting in hour-long sessions. And then in the local Leader newspaper, there was a television show on Channel 9 for a program to help you save money during global financial crisis. And Mum and I, we looked at that. Oh, yep, we'll send off our idea, and that is I'm the personal trainer and working with children on the autism spectrum. And got the email back. Congratulations, come on the show. Had the luxury of meeting Shane Crawford, ex-Hawthorn AFL football player. He's an absolute legend, community man. Yeah. And it was a great 5-minute segment. Fitness First jumped on, adopted the program, and let me use their studio for my sessions, which has been a huge help. The big room, the mirrors and colours are absolutely playing strengths to these kids, and it's really proving to show those amazing natural improved results in just those 1 hour sessions. So I'm there in my office, I'm putting it all together, you know, I'll exercise and do this and train that and design and develop the Time to Train program. The name itself, it speaks for itself. I believe certainly we all revolve around time, and we've got to use our time wisely. That children work best certainly in a more calm and relaxed environment. One-on-one is, I feel, the way to go, and I work best that way. So that's 2. Mm-hmm. And then of course we only get better in life if we train hard for it. So study, physical exercise, improving health, whatever it is you want to get better at, you just got to train. And that's the elliptical ring, I suppose, is just to repeat that and be consistent. Yeah. So Time to Train is the key program, I feel, for everyone, but it's proving huge benefits on kids or all ages with autism.
Wow. And so now have you got your own place to train the children? I'm
still working through the Fitness First Health Clubs and a couple of others as well that have been really great in jumping on board. So they're currently, at the moment, it's myself, and I've got a young apprentice at the moment, which has been a huge help, also on the spectrum. Yeah. And really, it's autism helping autism. Yeah. And it's got the complete full understanding, and it's stylised, so each program is very different to each individual, but the outcome is always that improved.
And where do they train?
So they're training in the group fitness studio, which holds about 70 or so people for a class. Okay. We've got the mirrors, we've got the colours.
And Fitness First gave you the studio.
That's right. Use. They saw the article and the segment on television all those years ago, and they were very quick to adopt and say, yes, look, community, we love. We need to help this. We need to help these individuals. You know, they've got abilities and talents as well, and they've got a real purpose to be involved in the community, so they just need help. You're doing that, so we want you and your program to come on through and to give back as much as possible.
And what did Shane Crawford say?
Shane was brilliant. Shane said to me that, you've got to train these kids, Jeremy, to one day get them to be just like you or close to, so that they can too one day continue and carry on the work that you're doing so well in. So train them up to be also involved in health and fitness, because that's showing to be paying off dividends, definitely.
And have you noticed in the children that you've been training, maybe the ones for a longer period of time, that you've noticed improvements and changes in them?
Huge amounts. I designed the program so that 8 or 12 weeks, so 2 to 3 months, is about that time that we really can see an improved result coming through. So again, coming from a health and fitness background, it was always saying to people that, if you want to lose weight or if you want to build muscle or whatever goal you want to achieve, that by about 6 to 8 weeks, and then by certainly 12 weeks, you'll get there if you're putting in that hard work. So I've tailor-made this so that once a week, just for 1 hour, and providing they're doing the training at home as well, that by about that 8 to 12 week mark, there'll be a 25 to maybe even 45, 50% improvement. And if they continue to do the work, I suppose, that there is no stopping how far that these kids can definitely go. So,
how long does it take to create a new habit of exercise? Is it 12 to 8
we know
weeks?
Certainly from statistics and research to suggest that the memory part of our brain if we're doing something over and over, about 20 or so times, that it cements itself in there. So,
Okay.
but I've made sure that these activities and exercises are fun, so that they're enjoying, and it leaves an impression, so they come back next week and they know what they're doing.
Okay, we'll continue in a moment. You're watching Nat Chat. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Nat Chat. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Jeremy Sampson, who is the Managing Director of the Time to Train Asperger's program. He also was diagnosed with Asperger's, and he is a personal trainer and physical therapist as well. Welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Mirella.
So now, can you tell us a little bit about what experiences you've had with Asperger's now, or is it completely gone?
Well, it'll always be there, but certainly I can absolutely be 100% on top of when I know that my autism, Asperger's, is trying, I suppose, its best to break through to the surface. So, I'm really thankful that I've done so much work throughout my life. And a couple of years back, I had leading expert in autism, Professor Tony Atwood, say to me on the phone after I grabbed his attention through the program and the success, "Jeremy, you're one of 10 to 15% of individuals that's managed to overcome the criteria of Asperger's and autism through a successful career in life." I said, "Thanks, Tony." He nails it on the head beautifully. Like that's my life summed up. But I've gone through the dark ages. I've been through the negatives, the real holes, I suppose. I've made lots of mistakes and errors, and that's all part of life, as everyone has to. And that's all really built me up to identify, knowing when to avoid making those errors and mistakes, and really embracing when I've achieved quite a lot, and being positive of that. And it's given me a lot of wisdom and knowledge. And now certainly I feel that it's about relaying that to the next younger generation, so that they're not making too many of those common criteria mistakes of autism. So I feel absolutely passionately that people with autism and Asperger's can lead a very fulfilling life just as anyone, and can go on to achieve great things, but have the success and happiness knowing that they no longer have to be having those struggles or difficulties or negatives occur.
And what are some techniques perhaps you can pass on to someone who may be struggling and they're watching at the moment, and maybe they have struggles with anger, with holding it together when something goes wrong? Yeah,
that anger is a big one, certainly. Working with students at the moment that are coming out saying, that if they're not getting their way or they're not able to communicate, that frustration definitely leads to anger, and severe anger, and almost rage, I suppose, and that can be quite hard, quite stressful for families as well as the individual. So I'm using again a lot of the physical exercises and really saying, right, push me and punch the bag and talk to me all at once, doing everything I can, massage and stretching, doing a lot of calming techniques and getting them moving around, and just combining the whole of doing all of that, and then saying, right, and leading the way, being a positive, inspirational role model as best I can, saying, I get angry too, and you have to ensure that when you get angry, that you channel it into something positive and productive, not the other way, because you're better than that. And leaving that kind of impression of inspiration, and seeing that glimmer of hope and light in their eyes, and they smile and look at me and go, yeah, I'm going to try that. They know that anger is not what they want to be like, and they're tired of being misunderstood, just as I was for many, many years. And they want to overcome that. They want to have friends. They want to do all the things like everyone else, and it's all there waiting for them. But they need someone to help them lead the way, and that's where I say, come on in, and I take them in under my wing, and I say, let's get to work. I'm not here and you're there. We're working together on this. This is a self-exploration journey, and this is something that we can improve on together. And I'm learning still quite a lot from all these other individuals that I work with. They're always giving me something that I take away from. But again, just to see that improvement in the long run is what's so rewarding, and I love what I do. And like they say, when you've found something career-wise, work-wise that you enjoy, you'll never work another day again in life. That's what I feel I'm doing. I'm
really
living
beautiful.
the dream in that sense, making a huge difference in helping people with autism get on top of those negatives.
And there was something you said as well off camera, we were chatting about it, and you were saying, say for example, if your mum tells you to do something and you don't want to do it because you're stuck in what you're doing and you can't break out of what you're doing, there are ways to deal with that.
That's right.
So can you talk us through some of that?
Yeah, it's so common for someone with autism to absolutely just be so self-absorbed and want to do only what they are interested in. So like I said, Mum said, Jeremy, I just need you to, cut back a few trees. Can you just do that right now for me if you possibly can before the thunderstorms come? And I said, yeah, not a problem. But I know for a fact that the old me would have said, no, not interested, don't want to, would rather be on the computer playing video games, and I'll do it maybe either tomorrow or the next day or the next, or it'll never be done. And then I paused and I thought, here I am, I'm so willingly happy to actually just go and cut the trees and do it. Why is it that's my now approach and attitude? Well, again, it's been through just ensuring that I'm breaking away from that criteria of negatives and stepping away from being self-absorbed and only into myself, and taking interest in things that only I want. Breaking that and going, no, I'll do that, absolutely do that, and I'll do it in a way that allows me to eventually then come back to what I've got to do, which these days is now, I've got to do a lot of paperwork and administration stuff and keep developing the program. So, but that's what I send out to all of my students.
And enjoy it too, you were saying. Find a way to enjoy what you
Find a way to enjoy, that's right. So do things for others, get the accomplished feeling you can help others, and then get back to what you love. So it's all positive. Yeah. It's really
And
wonderful.
even when you did the job, you said you did it in a way that you were doing, you're doing it very efficiently as well.
That's right.
You found a way,
Mum
gave it
said,
a challenge.
yeah, I'll give you 2 bags if you need. I said, no, that's all right. I'll cut it so well, I'll put it all into 1 bag, all those trees. And that's what happened. And she was like, well, that's brilliant. You can do anything, son. And I absolutely say that to everyone. Never ever think that you can't, because you can. But it's about adopting that positive attitude and sticking true to that. It's hard, but it absolutely can be done.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Would you like to come on again next week?
Why not? That would be lovely.
Great. Great. You've been watching Nat Chat. I hope you enjoyed the program. Our guest was Jeremy Sampson, and I'm Mirella Rich, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.